The other day, I received an email, and it read, "Dear Michael Showroom, this year, the Volkswagen Polo turns 50 years old. Would you like to come along to its very special birthday? Lots of love, Uncle Volkswagen." I think I would actually. The email then went on to explain that the party will be happening in Hanover in Germany and that many special guests will be in attendance. Amazing. The email then went on to say that Volkswagen would fly us out, to which I said, "Can we borrow one of your press polos so, we can make a film?" And they said no. Understandably, their entire press fleet of polos is occupied that week celebrating the 50th birthday of the Polo. So I've gone and done the next best thing. I've bought a Volkswagen Polo.
That's right, dear viewers, with your help we've gone ahead and bought our very first film car. So join us as I and my best friend, colleague and cameraman Matt take on our next Candy Showroom road trip adventure in a car bought on a whim from the depths of the barely running cheap car classifieds. Our journey will see us venture into the continent, cutting through countries in a car designed to cut through nothing more than your local city. We'll be taking on the actual fastest road network in the world, whilst battling the unexpected terrors of this and meeting friends and characters along the way in places I didn't expect to end up, looking at things I didn't even know existed. All whilst driving a car that bizarrely played the most pivotal of roles in turning me into the person I am today.
Yeah, this should be a good one.
Our adventure begins on a sunny day in an empty car park in a place called Gaydon.
Instead of taking the free flights to Hanover, I've decided to invest our first ever YouTube paycheck and buy this, the beast that is the 2001 Volkswagen Polo 1.4 litre 16 valve in Mercato Blue. And I'll show you around it. Come with me, Matt, follow me. As you can see, it is a two-door, which means it is sporty, it is youthful, and it is sexy, like me. And this will be the chariot that takes Matt and I all the way to Hanover. It's on about 116,000 miles, and I've got no paperwork for it at all. I don't know, just didn't come with any. It's a manual, it has funky interior. I spoke to some really nerdy Volkswagen friends, and they told me this combination is really, really rare, which is good for us because we need to stand out at this amazing event full of special guests and polos. Dead giveaway, that's a 16 valve, the big chunky side skirts, which either side are joined by optional extra 15-inch alloy wheels. I don't know if this is a 16 valve thing, but this one has disc brakes in the rear. A lot of them just had drums, so we've got sporting pedigree. The Volkswagen PR are going to love this. They're going to love this car. Under the bonnet, we have this magnificent 1.4 litre 16 valve. This one is the 75 brake horsepower, just enough to get you there, but not too much so you hurt yourself in the process. Yeah, 4 cylinders. I don't really know anything else about these. I turn it on and it goes. It does have one quirk. It has a misfire, and we have absolutely no idea why. One of the cylinders just decides to not work. So we've decided that we will fix that before we go to Germany, and we'll see one of our friends. Amazing. This paint, by the way, Mercato Blue, apparently one of the more expensive optional extras you could get on this car. This is a really, really well-spec Polo. I believe that this would have probably belonged to a well-off family on the outskirts of London, probably maybe even somewhere in Surrey, and they spent loads of money. And you can tell because it's got an interior that's funky, it has fog lights, they're an optional extra, it's got the slightly porkier engine, 16 valves, and the colour. It's tremendous. It's amazing. Yeah, she's a sweet, sweet machine. I think for our first ever YouTube acquisition, this isn't bad at all. But the eagle-eyed amongst you may have already noticed that there is one very special magical feature about our new Polo, which is really the only reason I bought it. Now, if I hop in here and bear with, the lock is sticky. And if I press this button here, oh baby, she's a target. She's a target. This is amazing. Matthew, I've bought us a convertible. Mate, imagine us, picture us on the Autobahn, 110 miles an hour, roof back. Yeah, I think this is cool. It is young, it is youthful, it is chic, it's blue, it's a Polo, so very much on brand for what we're doing with this film. And the roof goes all the way back. It's a Targa top. And if you're wondering how much this bad boy set us back, 650 of my finest beans. So yeah, I think that is pretty good value for money. Once we fix the engine misfire, that's literally the only thing that this car needs doing. Otherwise, Candy Showroom has purchased their first car. Are you happy, Matt? Do you like it? What do you think? He likes it. If he likes it, I like it. Happy days.
With a happy cameraman and a successful show and tell under my belt, our next course of action was to get our freshly purchased Polo up to scratch. As this car came with no recent paperwork, it was paramount for us to take care of that pesky misfire, and even more importantly, replace the urgently overdue timing belt, which, if fails, creates an engine catastrophe on a scale YouTube has never seen before. In fact, I shouldn't really be driving it in the shot before getting it done, but luckily for us, I have a very professional Polo expert friend.
Cut the head off it.
Off of what?
The speed camera. It was just on the floor, so I went and chopped it off.
Excellent.
And our Polo made it without a hitch.
Indeed, the Polo has made it all the way to Coventry. Are we in Coventry, Lewis?
Just outside Coventry. This actually comes under Stratford somehow. I don't understand how that works.
This is Lewis. Lewis is a good friend of mine.
Hello.
I've known Lewis for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
And we met because of
Polos and Lupos.
Polo 610s. And he is the perfect specialist who'll hopefully help us fix all the
I
broken
wouldn't go
bits
as
on
far
the
as
Polo.
specialist. Enthusiast, we'll go with that.
Enthusiast. You've had how many of these?
I've had 1 6N2. I've had
thought you
8
had-
6Ns.
I thought you had more 612s than that.
1 6N2.
Okay.
8 6Ns.
Having established our newly purchased Polo 6N2 is in brilliant hands, I slotted 50p in the back of Lewis's head, and he got to work fixing the misfire on our engine.
We'll pull these old leads like that. That one's been alright, fighter. Yeah, we just. Oh, they're bollocks.
Fixing a misfire is very easy. A little engine like the one in our Polo is about as complicated as a stick in a hoop, with the new parts needed to fix it costing no more than an expensive lunch in town. Things were going pretty well, and they were about to get even better, as the man who we hired to fix our timing belt for us, James, arrived for the job, primed with even more knowledge and experience
Hello.
need for us to get the Polo
James, good to
running
see you.
like a brand new
And
car.
thanks for spawning in some help when we need it most.
So you need a locking pin to go between that one and that one, which I don't have.
I've always used an M6 bolt.
Yeah, but you need to lock them together. These, yeah, on the other
I wish I knew what they were saying, but I could tell by the tones of their voice I had nothing to worry about.
I'm sure I've done it. That's what I did on my Lupo before. We just put 2 bolts through. We'll look out of it.
With Lewis back in action finishing his part of the job, it wasn't long before our new spark plugs, HT leads and coil pack were all fitted ready for the first crank.
So Lewis has said, let's fire it up, let's see if it runs any better with all the new ignition stuff. So whenever you're ready, Lewis.
Yeah, you ready? Wash your
Yeah.
hands. Oh, hang on. I'll tell you what I haven't plugged in. Coil pack.
Excellent. I was going to say, yeah, that runs real
That
sweet,
runs
Lewis.
mint.
Thanks for your help.
Right, that will start now. I know what I'm doing, I swear.
Aha! It lives!
So yeah.
Hold on a minute.
That is missing a little bit, isn't it? Why is it missing?
Our new bits seem to have done nothing. Either Lewis is a terrible mechanic, or something even more terrible is about to happen. It idles like
weird.
a diesel.
I wonder if it's fucking timing.
Ah,
Have you done a compression test?
No, we got one.
Have you done a compression test is precisely what you do not want to hear. An engine with bad compression is an engine that belongs in the bin. To make my anxieties worse, the wisest and friendliest local Volkswagen wizard, James's dad, arrived on the scene, and even he didn't look optimistic.
So mine had a similar issue when I had my 1 litre in it, and I'd burnt a valve out, burnt an exhaust valve out, so it would miss on idle, but at load, you wouldn't notice it. Obviously, you've got twice the amount of valves.
Mr. Yarosino, what's your intuition telling you? After prolonged thinking, James's dad's intuition suggested that we do a compression test. Oh no, I think you can see where this is going.
Right, you ready?
What we desperately need to happen here is the needle of this gauge to point to 140 psi. That is the magical compression number we need in our cylinder, otherwise this film and my brand new Polo was a total waste of time, emotion and money.
what does that mean there, Lewis?
25 PSI.
That could mean that's your misfire,
Okay.
which is what you got? Oh, yeah.
The gauge said 25 psi. Not even half, not even quarter of what we actually need.
So that's why it runs like shit on idle.
Okay.
And clears when it's at a higher load.
That's what we're getting now.
Yeah. It's just going straight through.
Gotcha. What does that mean in plain people terms?
Yeah, engine rebuild or a new engine.
So right now, but I'm just trying to figure out the timings for the film. So you'd advise basically not to drive to Germany with this engine.
That'd be a reasonable idea.
Okay.
I mean,
Put it back together.
I was pretty gutted at this point. Not only have I cocked up my first attempt at car YouTube philanthropy, but I really, really like this car, and for reasons we'll get onto later, I was determined to take it to the Polo party. We decided to do what most sensible people would do at this point, and that was to go to the pub.
Cheers, lads.
cheers, mate.
Cheers, Matt. So we have like 3 options right now.
You do have 3.
After the terrible disappointment of the garage, we either put a brand new engine inside the Polo. The only issue with that is we only have a week.
Yeah.
That means we have a week to source one. We risk buying a bad one again.
Yeah.
We then need to rope James into somehow cramming in that engine work in the space of a week, and he runs his own garage.
So he's always pretty chocker.
That's his livelihood. I don't want to interrupt on that. And then at that point, I'm about $1,000 in extra on top of the car.
Yeah.
There's another option. I can get back in touch with Volkswagen and say, actually, I will take those free plane tickets, so we can actually go and check out what they've got in store for us. But that would make quite a boring film.
Yeah, it's like you kind of defeated the whole purpose of what this is all about.
And then
really.
what I'm going to do with that? I'm still stuck with that thing.
Yeah, it's like, cool, I've still got a car I've done nothing with.
There is one third option, Liz.
There is.
What is it?
Which is sounds fun, just getting it and drive it. What's the worst that can happen?
And hope for the best.
Yeah, just hope for the best. It's only 500 mile.
One way, I still need to get back.
You don't worry about that after. You got a breakdown.
Home today as well.
Oh, we got to get home today. Shit.
And you got to do that.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah, I don't really think we sat that. We came to the pub to make a choice. I don't think we have a choice. I don't think there is 3 options.
No, it's
get in the car
and just
get on with it.
Just get on with it. Just make it happen.
And what would the 3 wise men do? Who came before us?
Getting it and go.
They'd crack on with it.
You might as well.
He's egging us on.
He's
Paris, yeah, crack on.
This.
Should we go, mate?
No, you don't want to know now, does he?
No. So then, next up, you're going to see one of two things. You're either going to see us on a flatbed in a car that failed to get back to London, or us in Dover. And it'll cut to us in fucking Dover.
Yeah.
Well, it's made it this far. It's currently 7:30 in the morning. We're a bit sleepy, but we've covered 90 miles in the Polo from London to Le Châtel, which sees us go underneath the Channel crossing, and to northern France and Calais. Last time we were here, we were in a £250,000 Bentayga, and today we're in a Polo with 3.5 cylinders. It ran smoothly here, but it did stall on us in the queue to the passport control. So it was all great until then. There is a very special reason as to why we're so determined to take this car to Hanover, and it's not just for the Polo birthday party. We'll get stuck into it as soon as we get moving and back on the road. Also, we've just noticed something funny. Matt, if you come to the front of the car, dear viewers, you might notice that our passenger side wing mirror is significantly smaller than the driver's side one. It's like Nemo. We have a little fin. That little fin will propel us all the way to Hanover. I hope. Right, let's see on the button. Because of the misfire, you have to rev up to get it going, which I don't think we've had to do before. Now, the Polo is a very special car to us because, Matt, you had a Polo.
I did, yeah. I had a 2015 Polo back in 2018, so it was only 3 years old. I loved it. It was a great car. I used it to ferry me back and forth to uni.
More importantly, it was your first car.
It was my first car, yeah. I'd kind of test drove around in an Igo, which was our family beater, for a bit. But this was my first proper car, my first proper bit of freedom. And it had more cylinders than this, I must say.
But the Polo wasn't just your first car, it was also my first car. You had the 6C, a relatively modern one by the standards of when
it was
you had
only
it.
3 years old by the time I had it.
My first car, however, was one of these. It was a 6N2. I had a black one with no sunroof or rag roof. But more importantly, it had no fifth gear. So because of that, I never ever did a road trip in my Polo.
Probably for the best.
So as far as I'm concerned, this is making up for that lost first car road trip.
This is your first time on a motorway in a 6N2?
Well, other than getting here, but yeah, this adventure is, yeah.
Another 401 miles of this.
Also, we can't do 65 miles an hour because we've discovered on the way here that the rear left wheel bearing is screaming its arse off. But yeah, I'm trying to preserve this engine as much as we can.
You want to keep it for summer?
I don't. I mean, maybe. We'll see.
And so, finally, armed with nothing more than blind optimism, sheer hope and a £650 Volkswagen, we finally hit the European motorway system in the Polo machine. Having established that our engine was already running on borrowed time, our plan of attack was simple. Aim straight for Hanover and avoid any funny business en route that could result in our Polo going further than it actually needed to go. And I probably know what you're thinking. Mike, there's still 13 minutes or so left of the film, so you must have made it. But we had to give ourselves a lifeline. Missing the main Hanover event we were invited to in the first place was not an option. These press trips are few and far between, and missing it would really render this film, and everything else we're really trying to do with Candy Showroom, useless. So, to mitigate this, I arranged full European breakdown cover with onward travel, ensuring we'd definitely get to our destination.
Guys, check this out. In an attempt to get some lovely B-roll for you, I put this camera out the window and the biggest bug in France kamikazed itself into it.
Yeah.
And I just got some on my trousers.
Poor thing.
We did know one thing, however. Since we bought the car, it's successfully completed 300 miles. One journey to see Lewis, one journey to get us home, and one journey this morning to the Channel Tunnel. We decided to stick to our tried and tested maths, do 2 hours on the road at once, then pull over to let the car cool down.
You look like Simon from In Between Us.
Thanks.
Letting the car cool down was important because it allowed the exhaust system to take a breather. One of the big problems caused by no compression in our third cylinder was that our little Polo was now overfueling, dumping unburned fuel that would usually burn up inside the cylinder straight into the exhaust system, where it would eventually reach the catalytic converter. A hot catalytic converter would melt and clog itself up, causing severe, irreversible power issues, making our already weakened engine even slower, to the point where even a simple incline in the road would make the difference between us making Hanover tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, my neck.
Rightio, sit rep time. We are currently crawling through the ring road around Antwerp, I believe.
Antwerp?
Antwerp to city. Antwerp, I'm going to assume. We have done 208 miles since we set off, and she seems to be doing okay, the old Polo beast.
Is it running any differently?
Every time I lift off to change gear, the steering wheel decides to pull me in whatever direction it fancies, either violently to the left or violently to the right. Not sure why it's doing that, but I'm taming it. I'm taming the beast.
All 3 and 1/4 cylinders.
Yeah, all 3 and 1/4 cylinders of this mighty, now 12 valve engine. He's been asleep for half of it.
My neck is murked.
I told you to bring a little pillow in.
I do actually have one.
Is it here?
Me, yeah. I got my blow-up travel pillow.
It's a blow-up one.
Yeah.
How did? So there's like a balloon inside of it.
Yeah. Where is it?
Why don't you get a proper one, like the Europeans at airports?
This is more
The ones that are full of beads.
economical with space. It really is terrible though.
Okay.
Anyway, we deviate. I do have one, but it was quite sleepy, so I just fell asleep anyway.
Excellent. Next pit stop will be probably before we leave Belgium, so we will see you then. Onwards into our journey to Hanover in the Polo Beast, the baby blue machine. Every time we put the roof up and down on the Polo Beast, all the foam from the open air just goes absolutely all over. So Matt and I are covered in tiny little specks of foam, which I believe is probably sound deadening for the roof. Anyway, that's covered in flies, and inside there is hopefully what we need.
Even though our engine is broken, the Polo is still quite efficient. Filling up our little fuel tank costs about £60, which would see us through another 400 miles of stressful range, maybe.
Another thing we notice, it leans to the sides. Like it leans that way. I don't know why.
I've been sat in it.
No, it doesn't when you're not in it. I mean, you're not in it now, are you?
Permanent damage.
I think the tyre sizes are different on each side. 185/55.
This is the particularly exciting part of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 185/55, 185/60. They're different sizes. Well, that's why it pulls to the side when I lift off then.
Maybe it's because of the small fin.
Why did we not realise that?
It's a NASCAR.
Come on.
Designed to just go in circles.
Right, Matt's decided he wants to do the next thing. He's not driven this poor thing yet. Also, I don't think we've shown it idling yet. Yeah, that's what that sounds like. Feeling comfy?
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, they're shit, but yeah.
You really have to give it a little bit again. 'Cause,
I've owned some pretty shit cars over the years, so I'm well acclimatised to modes of transport like our Polo.
And we're away.
Oh, baby.
Matt, however, has only ever owned nice things.
What do you think?
It feels completely terrible.
There you go, that's the power.
Yeah.
So, this is probably the cheapest and baggiest car he's ever driven.
The steering wheel is just permanently pointing left.
It's fine.
I must say, I do like being inside a little small car though. Whizzing across Europe.
Feels like an adventure, doesn't
It's
it?
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of driving dynamics, there aren't many with this.
It has, the engine's fucked in it, the wheel bearing is screaming, the brakes are shit, the steering wheel doesn't point straight, the tyres are odd sizes, but
Open air, baby.
that's fine. Does the engine make you anxious at all?
No, not at all. That's why I've been so calm this whole trip.
In the most polite way, do you understand the gravity of how fucked the engine is?
I do to an extent, but I mean, it's a hardy car. It'll be fine.
You know what? I believe in that. Onwards. Next pit stop will probably be lunch. In Deutschland.
I've got a good spot in mind for us.
Wunderbar.
The tide of my pessimism was slowly heading out, in place revealing Matt's much welcome optimism. And he's totally right, the Polo is a hardy car. R1 here is on its deathbed, chipping away into the Dutch countryside at a steady 80 miles an hour, collecting miles as quickly as it collected bugs, all while giving Matt a chance to get his much needed cheap car seat time up. To me, the Polo has always been a brilliant cheap car. While this video celebrates 50 years of Polo, it also helps me celebrate 10 years of having my driving license, with this magnificent beast being my first car all the way back in 2015. I was 17 when I bought it. I worked at a party shop, blowing up balloons in a store window on my local high street after school on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then selling superhero costumes to families with herds of insufferable screaming kids the entire weekend after. All just to be able to afford my first car. It cost me £500. Considering R1 isn't much more, inflation has clearly been kind to the 6N2. I remember I sent my dad to get it for me while I was still at school, and being in London, he never tested the 5th gear. And so I spent all the money I've ever earned on a car with a broken gearbox. I'm not sure what's worse, to be honest, this engine in R1 or that gearbox in that one. But the car did allow me to attend car events around London as a teenager, and it allowed me to start Candy Showroom, at the time a photo blog for my adventures. This year, Candy Showroom also celebrates 10 years of operation, a constant of the last decade of my life, seeing me go from a teenager who dreamt of being a photographer to an adult with a much more realistic dream of being a YouTuber. Anyway, the 6N2 has a special place in my heart, and this adventure was only adding to that. Although, as my hopes and dreams of a good first car crashed and burned in the past, so did Matt's lunch recommendation today, as his restaurant was unfortunately shut, meaning we had to resort to the fineries of the motorway classics.
That's another thing, the central locking on this thing is just absolutely fried, so you can't open the boot without the key being in the barrel. Hey, I can't believe the tyres are different sizes. Who did that? Why would you do that? They're like, these tyres are like 40 quid. Check this out, man. This tyre wall doesn't even have anything on it.
The tyre wall was completely shot. The man we bought the car from was a helpful and friendly dealer who told us he got the car in as a part exchange from a Deliveroo family. I imagine they thought using the tyre as a parking sensor was a good idea. Anyway, having topped up on sun cream, Matt decided he had enough of the Polo and handed me back the keys. We were now 300 miles into our journey with 200 miles left. we finally entered Germany, but it was around here that the Polo started to wear us down. We've spent the entire day so far in the sun, and while we could close the roof, that would make the Polo a lot hotter and generally more miserable. The constant drone from the blowing back box was infecting us with tinnitus. The steering wheel would fight your grip every time you lifted off. Hills would suddenly appear, which became a struggle to climb as we tried not to rev out the engine in order to preserve that bloody timing belt. And to make things worse, we were about to get high off the unburnt fuel fumes as we've had to come off the motorway to navigate around roadworks. Knackered and with an empty fuel tank, we finally reached our final stop off before Hanover.
So, our Polo's done 400 miles to a tank, which is good as far as I'm concerned. And we managed to find the only shell we've seen so far in this entire journey. But I wanted to just show you the curse of the central locking stretches as far as the fuel filler cap. If you come around, Matt, you'll see that it doesn't want to open. So you have to very, very gently try and pinch it back from the metal. There you go. Without snapping layers. That'd be awful if you snap this. And this just stays there. So in order to push it back in, you got literally like use your fingers and yeah, anyway. Time to fill up, get some snacks, and I reckon we got another 2.5 hours to go. We are about 2/3 of the way through our journey that really shouldn't be happening, to be honest, but hey, here we are. Also, I remember the boys in Cov were telling me that it's an absolute waste of money trying to put good fuel in this, but admittedly, is this right? E5, yeah. Admittedly, I filled it up with shit fuel in London to get it home from Cov, and it really, really ran like shit. E5 seems to have done a significant difference. Hey, I'm gonna increase our chances as much as I can, even if even if it's not supposed to make a difference. But hey, anyway, I reckon a full tank will get us there, and probably most of the way home. Home, he says. Quick little fly check with the Polo. It's well established around here that filthy cars after a road trip are the best cars, aren't they, Matt?
I'm just reading into it actually.
the
3.5 million units of this generation.
Third gen, yeah. Very good. And that is, I think, 1 million more than the first gen, 2 million more than the second gen.
2.7 in the second gen.
Excellent. Yeah, sweet. I reckon we'll have our chocolate bars, Matt. Give it another 10 minutes, let it cool down.
It'll melt otherwise.
They will melt, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, this thing will probably melt as well soon. We're close. We're getting close.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, only 2 hours and 22 minutes left of pure and utter misery.
And like magic, as far as I'm concerned. What type of magic? I don't know. Black magic in this, right? Oh my god. Lorry.
The Autobahn proved to be the Polo's biggest nemesis. While it could comfortably sit at 80 miles an hour on the flat Dutch motorways, the elevations in Germany were ripping it apart. Cars were flying past doing double our speed, while lorries were pulling out in our lane, forcing me yet again to rag the unhealthy engine we needed in order to get to Hanover. It seems silly now, but at the time it really was a mental stress on a level I've never experienced behind the wheel before. But despite literally all the odds stacked against it, the Miracle Polo just kept going.
so draining mentally, I will admit. It is absolutely fucking long. Can't wait to get out of this fucking car. And that goes without mentioning the anxiety in your brain that at any moment that thing under the bonnet could either pop, seize, or both. Most likely both.
Don't forget the wheel bearing.
And the wheel bearing screaming its arse off if I go 5 miles an hour slower than this.
Death roulette.
Pick your poison. Which way would you like to go out on the German autobahn?
Hey, point it at the phone.
That's it. The final slip road. The final Ausfahrt. 1 kilometre remaining. This is it. That's the hotel.
This has proved
the hotel,
point.
man.
Yeah. This has proved the point, though.
Bro.
You can buy a cheap car and drive it across the continent.
I think more than that. I think we've proven. We've driven the unthinkable. We have.
Ooh, this is new. Lovely.
Go on, press that button.
Oh, you bastard.
Where's the entrance to the hotel?
There. Did you doubt it, honestly?
Yes. You know what? I actually thought this was just going to fucking shit itself. I thought we'd be rocking up to VWPR on the back of a AA flatbed.
I really thought it'd be okay.
Mate, you see the face James pulled when
Yeah.
he saw, even his old man, even the Messiah himself said, yeah, no, that's not good, boys.
Going right outside.
You can't make up, there's a bay right outside. Can you hear that? You know what, I'm not sure you can hear it. Give me 1 sec. That's the sound of victory. I'm actually amazed. I'm genuinely amazed. I reckon he'll do it again, you know? Right, time to pack up. Admittedly, we are here about 5 hours before the original plane invites is going to land, because I generally thought we'd end up on a flatbed, so I gave us such a long period of time so we can arrange recovery and get here in time for tonight. So now Matt and I have 5 hours to kill, so we're going to park up. What should we do, Matt? I reckon we should get some beer. Right, let me park up. They've even left us a bay. What you can't see on camera is just how badly this thing stinks of fuel right now. Oh my god. Alright. For the final time today. I'm well impressed. That's amazing. I didn't expect it to do that. Yeah, well done, Matt. Beer?
Beer.
Beer, yeah. Excellent. Matthew, what are you doing there?
Instagramming.
Amazing. And where are we? We are at the restaurant you found, right?
This is, it's got 6,500 reviews, which for Hanover is quite a lot.
And it's called Ernst
My brain is
August.
fried
Yeah, it's
in that car all day.
It's almost like you've just spent 7 hours listening to whilst getting boiled alive.
But the point being, they apparently have really good beer and schnitzel, so we're going to take it for a spin.
And if the polos weren't good enough, this will be good enough. Right, let's go get stuck in. Have you ever seen anything more well-deserved than this? Cheers, Matt. How do you say cheers in German?
Prost.
Is it Prost? Yeah. I am a broken man, as I have beer. I don't know how much we'll film for the rest of the evening. We'll see where the night takes us, but we have about 4 hours to kill until the rest of the Volkswagen people arrive tonight. Oh my goodness, major meal alert. Excellent. Right, next time you see us will be twice the size. Excellent. Oh, fantastic. Dankeschön. Bro, they said that we wouldn't make it. They said it couldn't happen. They didn't want us here. But guess what? God did. major
Isn't it crazy what a bit of beer and not getting stranded on the autobahn will do to a simple male brain? We decided not to film the rest of the evening, but we did have a lovely time consuming the local drinks. Once darkness arrived, with it came our friends from the rest of the VW trip, who finally made it to Hanover by plane. And then we proceeded to enjoy even more local drinks together. And then some even more after that. And then some more there. The local drinks were really, really lovely, but not as lovely as the night's rest I ended up having back at the hotel, nor as lovely as what VW had in store for us the next day.
Wow, they were not lying when they said they were going to throw on a party for Volkswagen Polo. You join us on the outskirts of Hanover in this incredible hall filled with basically every single variant and type and colour of Polo ever made. But amongst that group is a specific batch of cars which I am particularly fascinated by, and that is the prototypes. The prototypes fascinate me because budget was put aside to design them, build them, show them to, whoever really signs these products off, but they never made it into production for one reason or another. So Matthew, come with me, we'll go for a little gander and we'll see what we can find, specifically the prototypes. Come along. Right, this one here is super special. This is a Polo 9N, which is the 4th generation. It's the one that came after our 6N2 opener that we drove here. But this one is a GTI. Volkswagen never made a GTI version of the 9N. This one here is the one-of-one concept. Very cool. As you can see straight off the bat, we got the honeycomb grille, but it's still got the 4 circular headlights of the 9N. Bumper, totally unique and original to this car. It almost looks a little bit like a Lupo GTI smooth front bumper. This is getting real niche nerdy stuff. But more interestingly, it was powered by a 1.8 litre turbocharged engine with about 150 brake horsepower. This would have been a quick car. I mean, 150 brake horsepower and something the size of one of my shoes is pretty cool. Inside, pretty straightforward. You have this red checkered pattern, which you couldn't get on a regular Polo, but you can on this GTI, and then this funky wheel here. I'm pretty sure this was available in some of the more kind of economical models. Chrome clocks, the lot. This is so cool. I am currently sat in a car that never existed. That is pretty cool. I'd love to drive it. It's got 1,600 kilometers on it, so it has been used. Very cool. Check it out. You can see the inside has been falling apart because it's a concept, and they had to put sticky tape here to keep it all together. I'm going to assume then the sunroof does not work. Very cool. Also, it smells like a brand new car, even though, from memory, this specific concept was made in 2001, and it was labeled as like the 2006 GTI concept. It was a look into the future of what the Polo would become, which it did. It basically became this with the 993. It just had a different front end, slightly different engine, and a slightly different interior. But this checkered cloth, this is mega, this is cool. Right, very cool. I rate this 10 out of 10. On to the next concept car, because there's another one I want to show you. Right, this one I do know about. Watch your step, Matthew. This obviously never made it into production either. This is the 9N3 GTI convertible concept car. Amazing. Made, I assume, by Carman, because their name is on the side of it. This car is very special because they never ever made a convertible Polo. As close as you got is the open air in R1, but here's one with half of it missing. Again, a total concept car. Never went into production, but I've been told that everything on it works. So I reckon we could probably get some footage of this roof going up. The interior is super funky as well. Obviously, you got the iconic GTI tartan. The thing about concept cars is that a lot of this stuff is literally one-off. They would have had to make the molding, the materials, everything for just one item version of it, like these headrests. This would have been used absolutely nowhere else in the car. You can actually see on the dash the buttons for the convertible, literally in the middle of the center console. Very, very cool. Interestingly though, they didn't just cut the roof off of a regular 9N3 GTI. They've changed it all up. So they put a central exhaust here. The bumpers are different. I mean, this entire back section is different. I have actually done this already. Check this out. Whee! So it does have a boot. Very cool, very cool. I think there's a man who's going to put the roof up for us. It's got a sunroof in it. You see that? That is fantastic. It has a sunroof inside the roof. What does it look like on the inside? Oh, it looks really, really good. Come have a look at this, mate. Very cool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have a special function with this remote.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. It goes down when you... Amazing.
Space.
Can I sit in it? I'm in the back of a convertible Polo, mate. Excellent. You know what? I am 5'11". Shout out the Shot Kings. And
You're 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot. I'm
Says
6
it
foot.
on your hinge.
This is sweet, bro. Loads of headroom here. I could do the journey in the back of this back to London without feeling too bad. I am now here forever. Trying to get out of this seat reminds me when we first bought our 6N2, Matt's lovely dad accidentally snapped the chair pull lever, but he glued it back on for us. Very handy, but he glued it on upside down, so the seatbelt's getting caught in it now. Thanks, Steve. Oh, Jesus, this is very unsophisticated. Oh, watch the window go back up now. Fantastic. Boom. Concept, prototype, user, enjoyer. Very cool. Thank you. These are not concept cars. They did make into production, but they're quite funky, so I want to mention them to you. The Harlequin. Originally a limited run, they made about 3,800 of these over the course of a few years, based on the generation of car that we have, but the pre-facelift. So we have a 6N2, this is a 6N, the front end is a little bit different, and the interior is totally different, but this one stands out because it is multicolored, right? Fascinating. They've taken 4 different colored Polos and mashed up the thing into one, and it looks like this. It's brilliant, awesome. There is a lot of interesting stuff here. Everything from a Blue Motion to a Harlequin to what even is this? A race car of some sort. You do also have the sporty polos from the past. So we got the G40 here, pretty rare car. They only made 500 of these. And then before the G40, you had the GT, and this, the original Polo GT. This is like the original Polo hot hatch, right? Very cool, very rare. I admittedly didn't even know these existed until today. And then at the front there, you have every single generation of Polo together, including the Mark III. This one here, I need to show you because it's quite spectacular. Matt, if you come right up close to me. The cleanest 6N you'll ever lay your eyes on. It's fantastic and comes with an opener. Look at it. This thing has never seen the road. And I know this because if you look at the speedo, if you look at the clock, this car has only ever done 60 kilometers. This is the freshest 6N in the world. I'm certain of it. Come have a look inside. Yeah, this thing is immaculate. Even on this 60 kilometer version, the door hinge is done hold, just like our one actually. Look at this, Matt. Amazing. This will show itself. Electric wing mirrors back in the day, pretty flashy. I mean, these came out in 1994, right? You gotta remember, that was a long time ago. 30 plus years.
How much nicer is that gearbox than ours?
Oh my goodness. You know what, you literally can't even compare the two. It actually stays in gear. It's perfect.
Do you reckon this is how it felt? Like when it came out the factory?
This is a brand new car. Literally, bro, 60 kilometers on it. This is close you'll get to a brand new 6N. I don't think there's another one on the planet with less mileage on it than this one, unless some maniacs kept one in a bubble box somewhere, I don't know. But no, this is the freshest one.
Would age actually do anything to it, or is this literally a time warp?
Time up. I think it depends how you store it. If you look after it, you'll be fine. Oh, pre-glove box dash, no glove box there.
So not under a tree in southwest London.
Whoa, don't mention that bit. No, our Polo, that's also in a bubble wrap container. That one. Delivery manager now. All 116,000 of it. Mega.
There really is something for everyone in this haul. Fascinated by the infinite question of what if meant I found myself drawn to the prototypes, but perhaps you're more interested in motorsport, in which case you'd love the base 9N Cup car or the ridiculous rear-engined Polo Sprint. Perhaps you're more drawn to efficiency, in which case you'd be all over the Blue Motion or the Occopolo, which achieved 78 miles per gallon back in 1987. I could, and did, spend a whole day here browsing through all the cars. I'll let you pick your favourites all by yourselves, but my favourite car isn't parked in the hall, no, because my favourite car is parked outside. Our plucky, hardy little Miracle Polo should have never made it this far. It should have never made it home from the garage, let alone through multiple borders and hundreds of grueling, fast-moving motorway miles. But it did, and it is still going, now wearing its well-earned stripes from the Volkswagen Classics team. That, dear viewers, is the magic of the movies, and the magic of our little blue ragtop convertible. While it's not a museum piece with 40 miles on the odometer, and while it lives under a tree in southwest London rather than an air-conditioned, bubble-wrapped garage, it is still a brilliant example of what makes the Volkswagen Polo a brilliant little car, regardless of where you are or what model you drive. Since the first Polo rolled off the line 50 years ago in 1975, Volkswagen have sold over 20 million of these little cars. In a world where the majority are chasing excess, it's cars like our Polo which prove that sometimes less is more, which prove you can see the world and have an adventure as long as you have an idea and a little bit of optimism, which prove that having character is about more than just being a character. It's about having purpose, a story, and maybe a bit of fun along the way too. Thank you for being part of this adventure, and thank you for watching Polo Party Road Trip Impossible. That is until you go ahead and do it.
Just in case you're wondering, it did make it back to the UK. Matt got the flight home on his own last night, which meant I've spent the entire day driving this thing back from Hanover. It is very late and I'm very tired, but I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this film, thank you so much for watching, and consider checking out our other videos on that hand side of your screen. If you want to support further than that, we also have a web store full of goods you can buy and channel memberships. Thank you so much again, take care, and I'll see you in the next film. And yes, it still runs like shit.